Welcome to the Concentric Home Solution Woodworking channel. In this video, I'll be reviewing my Woodmaster planer molder. My Woodmaster molder was actually, I won't call it just simply a game changer. I would go as far as calling it a secret weapon. Why I say that? Let me give you a little bit of information about the machine. The machine is a multi-function machine, and that could be good or bad. If you're in a small shop, it can be a very good thing because you have a machine that only take up a small amount of footprint or only take up a single footprint that could have multiple uses. Very positive. But on the negative side, if the machine fails, you just lost, in a lot of cases, all the functions of the machine. The machine can do, first of all, is a planer. You could add drum sanding to it as an accessory. You could change out the head and put in a drum, and it could become a drum sander. It also has an accessory head that allows you to put in saw blades to do gang cutting or gang ripping for breaking down boards. And for me, the biggest part, the main reason why I bought the machine, the sole reason actually I bought the machine, is the fact that you can add molding knives in it to make custom molding. Why would I want to make custom molding when molding is readily available at the lumber yard and at my local home center? I'll tell you why. Most molding is available in pine. You go to a lumber yard, you may be able to get it in poplar. Some, you might even get it in species like maple. If you're lucky, you might get mahogany. Might. You hear what I'm saying? Might. There's a lot of might there. So if you're building something, like it be an entertainment center, whatever it is you're building, and if you're using moldings and you want to have a consistency of species of wood because you're going to finish your product with a clear finish, and if you want to make it out of cherry, you want all the parts to be made out of cherry, you want to have something like this. You want to have the ability to make your own molding where everything can match. Crown, whatever you're doing. You want everything to be able to match. And the easiest way to accomplish that is to have your own molder. So that's why I say it's an ace in the hole. I did a kitchen where I did some maple cabinets. And the drawers was made out of maple, dovetail maple. I made my own crown molding. This is the same molding in cherry, but I want to use part of the knife. So there's a lot of versatility with the machine and with the knives. This is the same profile in pine. Over here you can see that getting a sample piece. I did it inside corner, 45 degrees in pine. I have some frames that I like to make. I use this profile for mirrors, for TV frames and so forth, and I can make it out of any species of wood. Walnut, cherry, mahogany, name it. Ebony, anything. Zebra wood, anything. And if there's something unique a customer wants, I can have custom knives made. Talking about custom knives. I like to keep my knives as protected as possible. These knives are gold to me, so I try to keep them very protected. I mean, I go overboard with the protection. This is a pair. Woodmaster, generally when you see people using a Woodmaster, they use it with a single knife and they use it in the planer head. But I got a custom knife holder for mine because I know I was going to use it exclusively for molding. And I got mine with a custom knife holder that took 2 knives, which gives you better finish. And you could also run it through the machine at a higher rate, and you can reduce the amount of chatter. Not only that, it's easy to set them up too because the knives are indexable because of these, these grooves you see here in it. So these are the crown molding knife. You can see it matches. It matches. So that's a beautiful thing. I like to keep them well oiled, and I try to keep my fingers from off of them because the moisture in your hand can introduce rust. So that's a kind of heads up for anybody that might be interested in doing something like this. I'm looking for my oil rag. It's probably staring me right in my face. I'll look for it later. But yeah, I get custom knives made. They're a little bit of an investment, but it's worth it. I actually plan to double up on my set so I can have a situation where when I'm using knives and it's dull, I could switch it out and have a set out, getting sharpened, because you could have them sharpened. These are not carbide, they're actually made of high-speed steel. The carbide ones, they last longer, but they're a whole lot more expensive. That's something I may consider in the future. Leave that here. But you can see this is a molding that I use a lot in drawer fronts and doors of cabinet. The main profile is cut with the Woodmaster, and this rabbit is, I use my dado stack to cut that out. But every one of these I have a knife for. You can see it. And it doesn't make a difference. Once again, this is a profile I have. I could make this in cherry, maple, or even these walnuts. This is a build-up of 2 different moldings. Once again, because I make them myself, everything is matched. Single species of wood. The stuff for the store is not a big deal if you're gonna use an opaque color. If you're leaving it as natural color and you put in a clear finish because you want your walnut to look like walnut, you don't want to commit blasphemy. A molding machine is a very good investment. And till this day, it's like magic for me to put in a piece of blank like this into the machine and a profile like one of these come out. It's like magic. Now, the machine is high quality. The main motor for this, I have the 12-inch machine. The main motor for it is 5 horsepower. And it also has a separate motor for the feed mechanism. The motor for this feed mechanism is variable speed. It can go from 0 to 100 in infinite. There's no step. It's infinite in as far as the different speed you can set it to. It's an analog dial. It's not a digital readout like you'll find out with the drum sander that I just purchased. I don't care about that. It came with a digital readout. I got it with a digital readout, but I didn't like it. And I changed it to a eye gauging readout. Be honest with you, I don't like that one either. It used a watch battery. At some point, I'm gonna change it to one like the new Wix one that's on my new drum sander. Although I just wanted it for molding, it came with a planer. That's how it comes default. I have removed I'll probably show a picture of it. I have removed it from the machine. I tried it once just to check it out. At the time I had my DeWalt planer and I was completely happy with it. And I didn't want to have to, always switch over. So I wanted this to be a dedicated machine just for molding. I had a planer, I kept my planer. So I removed the head and I keep the molding head in it full time. Before getting my drum sander, I considered getting the drum sander for it, but I like the capacity that this one allotted me. The new one you'll find out about in I did a video on it, you can check that out. But I like the capacity that this one allotted me. Plus, it has a little secret ace in the hole with the flap sanding head that I can use for sanding. Guess what? My moldings. So this I purchased this solely for molding, and it's perfect for that. If you're familiar with the Craig tables, the work tables, it's all the stuff that is stamped metal is at least that gauge. So if you're familiar with that, you know that I think that is something like, I want to say like 10 gauge or something like that. It's a really heavy. The bed of the machine is cast iron, but it has I forget what you call that high density plastic material that's real slick. It has that on top of it, so you can avoid getting in contact with the cast iron table. Even the jack screws to adjust the head, they're stout. Everything in this machine is stout. This is a perfect example of a company that is making products in America with pride. I hope this company never goes out of business. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. Everything in this machine, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, is over-engineered. Well, I won't say it's over-engineered. In my opinion, if I was to make this machine, that's probably how I would make it. It's well built. And there's no gimmicks. The quality, they let the quality speak for itself. No gimmicks. You could tell they take pride in what they're doing, let it be the owner or the people that make the machines. This thing, I cannot say enough. This is probably, in my opinion, pound for pound, all things equal, this is probably my best made machine in the shop. I can stand on that. Just think about that for a minute. What else I could tell you about it? So as I told you, I intend on upgrading the digital readout because I like the digital readout. When I have a setting for a particular knife, I can, once I figure out the setting and the number on the dial, I can record that and go back to that same setting every time I put those knives in. So I always try to come up with little tricks like this so I'm not reinventing the wheel every time. Setup don't have to be a pain every time. I like using gauge blocks and so forth. If you see some of the moldings, this for example is a gauge for setting up the machine. Actually, I've switched it from that to using a smaller one because this fits in between the feed rollers. I try not to, each time reinvent the wheel. But once again, I'm very happy with this machine. In fact, when I get a bigger shop, I intend on getting an additional one. I'm probably gonna get the larger one so I could do like, what's the name of the gentleman? I want to give him full credit. What's his name? Mr. Strigler. I forget his full name, but he's a builder, I think, out in Arkansas. He uses the bigger one. I think it's the 18 inch one, and that is wide enough to where you could do curve molding in it. So I would like to get that for doing curve molding in the future. So if I get a bigger shop, I would buy another one of those specifically for that. If you're in the market, or if you do a lot of stuff that has to do with trim, and you want to be able to create your own custom trim, I know there are other products in the market, and nobody's paying me for doing this, by the way. I shouldn't have to tell y'all. Those of you who's been with me from the beginning or who's been around me for a while, you all know that's a non-issue. But for people who are new to the channel, I'm more likely to piss a manufacturer off. But anyway, I have no affiliation with Woodmaster. They don't even know who I am. They probably don't even know this channel exists. But once again, the only thing I can offer to you is my honest opinion. I will buy this machine again. I can recommend this machine with a clear conscience. I can't speak for other products on the market. They might be well made also, but I can only speak from my experience. I would buy this machine again. And again, I can recommend it to anyone. This is my review of the Woodmaster 12-inch planer molder. And I am completely happy and satisfied with the product. By the way, did I tell you it comes with a 5-year warranty? 5 years. Never had to use it, have to use it. I've owned it more than 5 years. They have a well-written manual. This is a pretty, as far as manuals go, this is pretty beefy, which makes sense because the machine has multi-functions. They're very big into promoting the wood molding, you know, kind of like getting into business doing wood molding. So they, you know, they have a thing where they call a business plan, whatever. I never really got into it. And they themselves also make custom knives. I get my knives made by a gentleman, a small guy. I would try, if I remember, I'll put his information. And I have come in contact with another gentleman up north that I may give a try also in the future. But that's the cool thing. You could design a profile and they send you the profile, the template, and the guy did with actually send me the CAD drawing. So I could design in my design software with my profiles. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. I could design with my profiles that I'm going to use in my, you know, in my drawings. Like be entertainment center, whatever it is I'm building, and I could go out and make the parts. So, once again, thanks for watching, and be safe in the shop. Have a good day. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to be notified when new content is dropped on this channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and drop a comment down below.